Welcome. Today we are going to practice a deep stretching yoga, which is called yin. So we're just gonna take a gentle step into yin, nothing crazy, just to give this type of yoga a try. If you've practiced yin yoga before, you know exactly where we're going, and if you're new to it, that's okay. It's really fun to try different types of yoga, and they all complement each other. They all have a place in our lives. So we're going to begin by, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about yin. So in yin yoga, we hold stretch poses for anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes. Some people go even longer. However, today we're just gonna go around the 2 to 3, 4 minute mark. Nothing too advanced at this point. But what happens when we hold stretches for that amount of time, when the body is cool, so we don't warm up and we just hold these stretches for an extended amount of time, is it targets the connective tissue in the body. And being a energetic practitioner, a craniosacral therapy practitioner, I do have quite a bit of experience working with that connective tissue or fascia, and have found some wonderful benefits from yin yoga, deep stretching, long holds in the connective tissue. And the connective tissue, what it is, it's a web-like sort of meshy material that runs through our entire body. So it actually runs around all of our organs, around our muscles, underneath our skin. And a lot of times working with massage clients, if I found that they were repeatedly coming in for treatments and they were doing stretches and they just weren't getting anywhere, I would often recommend myofascial work. And what that is also stretches the connective tissue. But I also would recommend yin yoga because it is extremely effective at stretching that connective tissue. So we're going to get started, and yin yoga generally is a pretty silent practice. So I will be doing just a little bit of talking, not too much, just a little bit of soft talking just to kind of talk you through what we're doing here. But once we're settled in, we'll just hang out in these poses. And so we'll begin now by taking a few breaths just to get us into present, into our practice, to get us to settle in here. So we'll just begin to invite that breath in. A nice slow and controlled inhale, fill that belly, and then just a nice slow and controlled exhale. And we'll do that a couple more times. So nice, deep, slow and controlled inhale. And then a slow and gentle exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale here. Just take a moment to bring your awareness to where your body makes connection with the mat. You can just keep your hands on your knees, or you can draw them into the heart center to prayer position. Close the eyes if it's in your practice, and just bring forth an intention for your practice today. Allow that intention to come forward. And a good intention for yin yoga can be to let go, because when we do start to stretch that connective tissue, we are releasing adhesions there. And those adhesions store energy and they store emotional memory. And so sometimes it's not uncommon to have emotional releases during this practice. I have spent many practices of yin yoga with my face in a bolster crying. And that's okay. That's perfectly good. Actually, I invite that to happen because I feel so much better after. Letting that go, that which we hold on to. And one of my favorite people of all time, Dr. Wayne Dyer, he said, what do you get when you squeeze an orange juice, right? And so I always go back to this, when you squeeze a person, when we are triggered, what happens, what comes out, what's inside, which can be pain or anger or frustration. And so when we do these practices and we allow ourselves to release emotion, release stored pain, what that does is it releases that. And so then when we are triggered in the future, our response is more gentle. We don't have those abrupt, harsh responses anymore because we've let go of that energy. And so now we're gonna get started. So what we'll do here is we're going to spread those legs out nice and wide. So coming to that, the wide seat on your mat, just bring those legs out as far as you can bring them. And in yin yoga, we find our edge, and this is our own personal edge, so we're not going to look at anyone else. And when we find that edge, that's what we feel is a gentle pull. And then we find a space to let go there and relax into that space. So what I'm going to do is bring a bolster in front of me. Now you can bring pillows, blankets, blocks, whatever you feel. And then I'm going to slowly lower my upper body down towards that bolster. And I feel like I need another block. So I'll bring in a block and just let my arms rest on the bolster and my forehead on the block. If you don't have props, it's perfectly okay to do this without props. And so just letting the upper body come forward, and we fold here and just let yourself settle in. So finding that edge, finding stillness. And then once we are there, we'll let time flow. You don't have to worry about keeping track of the time. I'll do that for you. And so just letting everything go here, finding that spot, that edge, that stretch. Just allowing yourself to stretch deeply and to release and let go. And if your mind wanders, just let it go. Just treat those thoughts like they're visitors. Sometimes we have visitors that are a pleasure. We invite them in. And sometimes we have visitors that are not so pleasant. And so we can look at our thoughts in this way. So they're just visitors passing through. You can invite them to just be on their way. And if agitation comes in, just coming back to the breath awareness. Just noticing that breath. Settling in here. Now we're just going to slowly walk our hands back towards our body, and we want to be really gentle with ourselves when we move out of these postures. And now we're going to draw the right heel in towards the left inner thigh. We're going to turn the upper body and just allow the upper body to fall forward. And again, using any props that you might want to use. If you want to grab anything to just rest your head on, your upper body on, go ahead and do that. And just let yourself fold forward here. And again, just finding your edge. And then finding stillness, settling in here. And just let time flow. And if ever you feel the need to make an adjustment, do so at any time. Just listening and honoring the wisdom of our bodies. And we're just gonna ever so gently and slowly make our way back up. And we roll the shoulders a little bit, open those shoulders up. And now let's bring that right heel across and over so it comes to the outside of that left hip. And then we're going to twist, so bringing the left forearm to the outside of the right thigh and twisting the right hand back to come into a nice twist here. Try to draw that right shoulder up and away, so behind, open it up, away from the ears, open that shoulder. And then we'll release that. Release that right leg and send it all the way out again. And we're going to draw that left heel into the inner right thigh. And then we're going to just slowly allow the upper body to come down again here, just coming into this spot where we can feel our edge here, so we adjust and modify as we need to. Use any props we need to, and we settle into this stretch. The beautiful thing about yin yoga is it really does build that relationship. It really helps you build that communication with yourself. You have to find that edge. and support yourself in such a way that makes this practice possible. Return to your breath if you need to. Adjust and modify if needed. We just sort of let go in yin and just allow everything that needs to happen in our bodies happen. It's about releasing and letting go. Now again, we'll just nice and slowly rise up. And just draw that, bring that left heel to the outside of the right hip to the floor. And we'll bring the right forearm to the left outer thigh and find a nice twist here. Open up that left shoulder. And we'll just come all the way back to center. And we're gonna find our way to supported bridge pose. But first, we're just gonna lower down, draw the knees into the chest, and let's find some circles in the hips here. So just circling out those hips. And then dropping the soles of the feet to the mat and just start to windshield wiper those knees from side to side. Nice and slow and gentle. And now bringing them to center, we will grab anything we can that we can use to support ourselves in this supported bridge. And then when you're ready, we'll just roll the shoulders away, push into the floor, and put your prop underneath your hips to support you. So pillows, bolster, blocks, whatever you need. And we'll find our edge here to come into that space of that nice fascial stretch. Stretching out the front of the body. You can press those shoulders into the floor to open up that heart and stretch it out. And again, finding your edge, finding stillness, and just letting time flow. Let it go. Meet yourself with loving kindness. Now again, we're just going to really gently come out of this pose. So lifting those hips up and just ever so gently lowering them down to the mat. Draw the knees into the heart. Now we're going to send our feet all the way down to the end of the mat. We're going to bring our arms overhead. We're going to come into a banana stretch here. So bringing the upper body over to the right side and the lower body over to the right. So we bring our body into a nice side body stretch. We stretch out the side of the body, that entire fascial stretch there, the entire fascial chain, what we call it. We get a nice deep stretch out of it. Maybe we turn our eyes towards the right side. Find a nice stretch here. Find your edge. Find stillness. And then just let time go here. And now when you're ready, just gently coming back to center here. We can stretch out our bodies, so pointing toes and fingers. Just give ourselves a nice stretch here. And then just making our way over to the other side. So nice banana here on the other side. The hands reach towards the left and the feet reach towards the left, and we create that banana shape out of our bodies. Maybe we gaze over to the left side. and get a nice stretch. We find our edge, and then we find stillness. And then we just let time flow. Now slowly coming all the way back to center. We're just going to gently transition here into Shavasana. So just making a few gentle adjustments here to find your way to that space of deep relaxation. Now just letting the body melt, letting the tissue relax, letting go of any resistance, just letting the body come into this space of deep calm, relaxation, letting your mind drift, and letting everything go as we settle in here to our relaxation, our Shavasana. And we take rest here. Taking all the time you need. Take your time. Stay in this relaxation pose as long as you need, as long as you wish to. I'll leave you here for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. From my light to yours. Namaste.